I just wanted to just start off with probably the most obvious one. I know he won't be playing this weekend in terms of Danny Ings just for fitness concerns, but I just wanted to know whether he was a little bit disappointed. I know within every single footballer there's an element of competitiveness, and are you disappointed that he won't get the opportunity to feature against your team this weekend?
If I'm disappointed,
Yeah.
when I say yes, then you would say I still miss him. When I say no, uh, then you would say yeah, we are not scared of him anymore. So whatever I answer is I think the best thing I can answer is it doesn't matter. We take the team that comes, and we have to play a good game against the squad that is turning up here.
I just wanted to know from your perspective, is it going to feel a bit weird? I know he won't be playing, but obviously he probably still will be around. And I've heard Romeo make some comments this week about him being in a different uniform. When you do see him, I mean, will it feel a bit weird that seeing him in different colours at all?
I don't see him now in different colors because he doesn't play. But yeah, I've seen him so far in this season playing in a different shirt. So I I I have absolutely no problem with what happened, and I feel absolutely we had a very good um, yeah last talk when he was leaving, and also afterwards I congratulated him for scoring goals, and he's a fantastic lad, and one of the guys that yeah you want to meet again when you're not working with them anymore. So I think he did a fantastic job for this club. The club got a lot of money for him when he was leaving, and then we wished him all the best, and went tried to go our way. And this is how football is. It's not always from working with a player for 10 or 15 years or with a manager for 10 or 15 years. So it's a very quick changing business, and you have to get adapted to it. Otherwise, I think you cannot do this job.
Completely unrelated, even though we are talking about Danny as a previous player for yourself. But a lot of your success while you've been here, for your tenure, has been predicated on your defensive stability and how well you've been defensively. But this year, maybe the lack of goals has been a concern. I just wanted to know, are you concerned at all about the lack of goals?
No, absolutely not. Maybe we had this season not the game with the 4 or 5 goals. We had also last season not a lot of we scored 4. I think it was 1 against Villa away. So no, I see the quality we have up front. I know that these players have a new impact in the Premier League, especially Broja and Adam Armstrong are new, and it takes a little bit of time. This is normal. Shea Adams has his third year now in the Premier League. Nathan Teller is young and also new, if you want. We have only one experienced striker. This is Longy. So Reddy was sometimes playing up front also, but I'm not scared that we cannot score goals. I think we get better and better also in this part this season, and I think that the game will come where we score more than 1 goal, and because we had also in the last game a lot of chances, and when we are a little bit more clinical, so we come in the situations to score. Yeah, the final goal was haven't been that often there, but we can score goals, and for me it's more important that we have clean sheets, because then 1 goal is enough to win, as we have shown in the past.
Ralph, my final question is, no one has ever questioned James Ward-Prowse's commitment to the club, but it would be amiss if we didn't talk about the speculation that was around him this summer in terms of the bid that was from Aston Villa. Have you spoken to him at all in terms of just how he's going to feature and how he's going to concentrate in terms of with this game?
Not anymore since the summer, since he extended his contract. This topic is, when it was a topic until that moment, it's definitely gone from that moment. So there is nothing to discuss about this anymore. And Prowse is our captain, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, Niv Dovra at PLP.
Hi, Ralph. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It does feel like the team is going through a very positive period in the last few weeks. What does it do to the team spirit in general ahead of a big game like Villa tomorrow?
It's never a disadvantage when you perform well, get some points, show some good performances, and yeah, it's always helpful for creating good atmosphere, team spirit, if you want. this season we have maybe a little bit more width in the squad, so that means we have more alternatives in every position. That gives a little bit more pressure on the individual player. But on the other side, for me, maybe sometimes harder decisions to take, but in a positive way, that you have quality on every position more than enough, and this is what we need. And then it's easier for me to pick a team, and harder for the players to get a spot in the first 11.
And last one for me, please. That's 10 Premier League games so far this season for Southampton. In which areas you are still hoping to see clear improvement?
In the box, in the opposition box, I think we can be more clinical. We have a lot of chances there, and we're getting better, but still could score more often, I think. And this is something we can improve still, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Adam Blackmore, Radio Sony.
Ralph, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What a
I'd like to ask you a few more questions about Danny Ings, but life's too short.
relief.
I'm joking. Okay.
Speak about him, and then we answer. And by the way, he's not playing. So
I know. I'm anyway. I was just joking with you. Just about this little spell of games. I remember going into the last international break, thinking, right, the next month needs to be good. This is when we need the wins, get Saints season going in October, November. We're about to hit the next international break, and I know every game's important to win, but how important is it to go into that break not losing and taking some momentum from the last month all the way through the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, if there's an international break or not, I think it doesn't change the importance of every game in the Premier League, and especially now where we are in a good shape. I think we should keep on going and keep on taking points. And then the international break, if you want, is not coming at the perfect time. But yeah, we take it, and we knew that these are important weeks for us, and they're still coming up. We have now Villa, then we have Norwich after the international break, and then they're coming also a few very strong opponents. That doesn't say that they are not strong that we play against now, but we think that these points we have taken in the last 3 Premier League games are very, very important for us. And this is why we need to keep on going. And we knew this, and I think the reaction from the team was a good one. And it's important that we took this 2 wins and 1 draw now.
I'm sure Aston Villa fans will be a bit surprised. They've lost 4 games in a row going into this match. He's tinkered with their formation. He's been trying 3 at the back to accommodate Ollie and Danny, and then he's gone back to 4 last week against West Ham. Do you know what you're going to get against Villa, or are you not sure?
Yeah, it's not very often that you 100% know what you get before the game, to be honest. There's always a few questions you have to answer, and finally you know it when the game starts. But this is not a big different to other games. So a team that is maybe a little bit struggling because they didn't win is even more dangerous, I think, in some moments, because they only need a short moment. I mean, am I still here? Because I'm gone.
You're here.
Yeah, okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah, but then I think it's important that we know that such games like against a team that is a little bit struggling are even more difficult, because they need only a few moments, a few positive moments to get in a good rhythm. It's on us to be immediately on them and show that we are playing at home, that we want to win this game, and then finally, when we get chances to score, that we then do it and close the game for us. I think this is what we should do earlier than in the last weeks.
Is this now a proper Ralph Hasenhüttl squad? It's been something I've been thinking about. You've got rid of the players that were hanging on from contracts before you arrived. You've got the young players in you like to work with. We're seeing improvement over the last year or so from Salisu and Diallo. Is this your shape of squad now? Have you finally got the sort of squad you wanted?
It's not my sort of squad. It's the sort of squad that fits, I think, to the Southampton Football Club. And this was what I was always working for. I think we have a very young, very talented team. You see on our back four, it's a very young back four we have here. And it's, meanwhile, I think a very good mixture of players, experienced players that have been long in the club and a lot of fights won for this club, and some very, very talented young lads. They are also pushing hard and getting in the window. And I think this is a very healthy young squad with potential, what fits perfect to this club, to the goals we have and to the way we want to go, to the Southampton way. I think it is what we were always trying to create, a team that supporters are absolutely identifying with, and young lads, they show that they are so good that they can help us.
And just finally, if I can use the spare PLP question, Jordan, Ralph, what about team news and Armando Broja? No one's asked you about his fitness. How is he, and how's the camp?
He's back. He's available for the weekend, and the rest, apart from Jack Stevens, is also fit. So I have the full decision to take.
So Musa's back in the squad or available.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Ian Abrahams.
Where's my picture?
Yeah, so if you hit the cross at the top left.
Hi Ralph, how are you?
No, the left.
How are you? I'm okay.
Good. Can I just start with a question? I mean, I know you've been quizzed ad infinitum about Danny Ings. This isn't about Danny Ings, but you've also mentioned you're concerned about the goals you haven't scored this season. To that end, is the form and the goal scoring form of Adam Armstrong a worry?
No, because it's only a question of time for me when he will score again. He scored once in the first game and then not anymore, but also in the last game he had a few very good moments, a few inches missing. So I believe in our attacking game in the moment. We have a lot of chances created in the last 3 games, and I'm sure that we will score again on Friday.
Another of your new players for this season, Tino Livramento. A lot of people saying that he possibly even could get a call up to the full England team. He's in the under-21s now, and that looks absolutely amazing as both a right back and a right wing back. Is that how you see your players at that position, as more a defensive player or more a midfield player? And can you just talk about the impact he's had with you?
Yeah. Generally, I try to bring every player in the best possible position for him, that he gives us his biggest qualities and his biggest strength as good as possible for our team. And Tino has shown that on the right back position, he has a fantastic impact for his team. Enough space to attack, enough room to use his pace, defensively quality in the back four, what you also need to have. And physical, absolutely the quality to run up and down all the 90 minutes. I think his stats in the last games were very high. The same like Kyle Walker-Peters on the other side. In the moment, they do a very good job. This makes us very flexible, offensive and defensively. It's not a surprise for me that he has such a good impact in this team. I want to calm the situation a little bit down, because in some moments it's better for young players, and this is what we are known here, to get them a good atmosphere, calm atmosphere, that they can develop their game. Not so happy about selecting him for player of the month or whatever, but it is when you play good, it's what can you do. Finally, I hope he's handling it well. I think so. He's a very, very grown up 18-year-old. So unbelievable in this age to be that serious for his game and for his work on the pitch. We have a good young group here with a good drive, with a good habit of working hard, and this is enjoyable to work with for me as a manager, and this is an interesting way to go.
And my last question, refereeing and VAR. Dean Smith's been unhappy, the Villa manager's been unhappy with a couple of decisions in their last 2 games. In general, everything seems to start well this season, but the last few weeks there have been more, let's say, inconsistent decisions. Have you found that as well, that just generally it's beginning to be a problem again?
So now we are at the point where I have to speak about referees, and I cannot do this anymore. This is too expensive for me. And sorry,
Okay.
I have my opinion about it. I'm a big fan of the VAR in general, so this is what I can say. And about all other decisions, it's not worth to speak about it.
Okay, thanks, Ralph.
Okay, Carl Markham.
Hi, Ralph. Afternoon.
I'm okay.
Just a quick one on Che Adams. 2 goals in 2 games. I'm just wondering what that does for his confidence, and is he sort of the player who needs that sort of boost and thrives on that sort of confidence boost?
And not only him, I think this is always helpful for everybody when he scores goals and decides games. This is for a striker important, but also for every other player it can be important. Yes, strikers are more scanned by being successful in front of the goal, and then their value is growing. I must say that it was important for him after not playing, because Broja was in the first 11 to show up immediately, did it. And this is a good reaction, I must say.
Thank you.
One of the things I just wanted to kind of pick your brain about is how you deal with the ebbs and flows of management. I mean, going into the last international break, you were winless, no win in 7. Now you've got 2 wins in 3, possibly a chance of 3 wins in 4. How do you kind of deal with the constant up and down? Because Dean Smith, for example, at Villa, there's stories this week that, he's lost 4 games in a row, his job's under threat, etc. You've not really had that issue, but how do you still deal with the kind of up and down?
Yeah, I must say that in the beginning of the season, it was a strange situation, because I think the performance from us was in every game quite good. There was maybe only the one half against Wolves where we were a little bit struggling in the second half after conceding the goal, where we normally must be winning in that moment. So the rest, I must say, was, when you draw against City and against West Ham at home, what is a team that I think wins every away game this season so far. This performances, as I said, were absolutely okay. But with draws, you don't make big steps forward. This was the issue. We didn't score that often, and then as long as you don't win, you have always pressure. This is normal. But I was not that scared, to be honest, that we cannot win games, because I saw that in general the team is working well and the shape is working. We have been very flexible this season. We made some good progress in our game, I must say, and it is always a challenge when you get a new squad in the summer with a few new players coming in, and to change a few things. This is always a challenge, but I think we did this challenge quite right. But still a long way to go. The season is hard. We had a tough schedule in the beginning. The last weeks were a little bit, I won't say easier, but the chance is bigger to get a win. Now we have 2 wins, but still a long way to go until the end of the season. But we are definitely now feeling that the team is improving, that we have found a good way of having clean sheets. I think 4 in 10 games is a very good average. This was the big goal before the season, to stop conceding so many goals. Hopefully we can keep on going like this. Alex does a good job in the goal. The back 4, although he's young, does a good job. Especially the game against the ball is normally something that is very good organized. So it's not possible to concede that many goals normally. But last season we had still problems of having clean sheets. So it's always a long journey, and everybody's invited to go with us. The fans know that we are working hard on every part of our game, and we want to give them a good feeling on the weekend when they see our game, our team playing football, and it will be again a very intense game, like all games we have played this season so far, with high stats, with high runnings, with high sprintings, and a very lively performance, hopefully against a good side, and then hopefully with 3 points for us.
Can losing do strange things to a manager, though, in terms of believing in what you're doing? When you hadn't won, you seem to continue carrying out your principles, which I think were clearly important. But do you change your kind of mood from a Monday where you've won to a Monday where you've lost, or do you always have total belief in what you're doing?
Total belief in what we are doing and in how we are working. But sure, the mood is a different one when you win games. It's a much more positive one. To be honest, as the longer you are manager, the less are the extremes, to be honest. When I was young, it was a super happy situation. Meanwhile, it's not that frustrating after lose, and not that emotional positively in after a win. This is what changes. I think over the years it has to be changing, because otherwise I think you get a little bit mad. But no, this is but it's still the nice part of our job to have this up and downs every week. And you know, I mean, what job do you have this? At one time you're feeling great, and the next moment you're not so happy, and it can be only 2 or 3 days in between. So so this is the interesting thing, but it should be not that extreme. Like I tell my players, not to be too emotional or too calm. A good level is always very helpful for performing well and for being professional. And this is our job and our way we have to work.
Thank you, Ralph. Best of luck for Friday.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Alfie House.
Good afternoon, Ralph.
Hello.
Difficult to follow some great questions from Dan there, admittedly, but I wanted to ask about you watching the B team last weekend. You obviously watched the B team versus Aston Villa. Thierry Small was constantly up the left-hand side. He got a goal. It was quite a wild celebration. I think he kissed the badge and did a bit of a knee slide. How did you assess his performance?
I was very pleased of the whole performance from the under-23. They seems also to have the turnaround found now, and Nathan Teller, Will Smallborn, Thierry Small playing from the first team. Nathan asked us to play, what I found great, and he did a good job there also. Shows also the character of this guy, and this lad was also playing fantastic. Yeah, Thierry, I must say, very enjoyable to watch. This lad feels absolutely good here in this club, and he has some really good potential physically. Mentally, he's a fantastic guy. I think he's always positive, enjoys everything he does. Very, very shiny person, I must say. And yeah, still a lot of things to learn, but like to work with these players. It's the way I was always working in my manager career, that we have young, good lads with a positive energy. We can improve, we can make them better. And it feels good in the team, and the team loves him also, I think.
Good. Yeah, you mentioned there that he still has a lot to improve. I know that he had some, was it knee strength issues when he first came in, but in terms of that first team opportunity, how far along the process is he? Is he one that might have to wait perhaps for an FA Cup third round match, or? Maybe,
yeah. You never know. I don't hope it, but some moments it goes quick, and especially on this position, we have this season a much more, many more options, I think, than last season. And it makes it harder for him, but he's a long-term project like all the young players we have, and I see the potential, and I'm very happy to have him here.
Brilliant. Best of luck tomorrow, Ralph.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll go to Tom Buckley. Tom.
Hi, Ralph. Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was me coming on. You were asked about James Ward-Prowse earlier. Obviously, you sold Danny and Yannick in the summer, and that was we understood the reasons for that with their contracts being up. But how important was it to keep hold of the club captain, you know, the sort of the driving force of your team, the poster boy of the academy this summer?
Yeah, there was not 1 minute the fear that he will leave us, to be honest, because I was relatively sure that he knows the role he has to play for this club. It's more about losing only a very good footballer or free kicker is a role model for our club, and always helpful when you have somebody like him here in this club. And yeah, he's somebody the young lads are looking up and want to do the same. And this is why it was important that he was then committing even more to the club. And I think we found a solution where we have a win-win situation for our club and for him. And this is how it should be. And since then, he was immediately showing that he wants to give everything for this club. Nothing else I have expected.
When you look at Aston Villa's struggles of late, is it too simplistic to say they've lost Jack Grealish and they're just trying to find a way to adapt to that? And I guess you've had your own sort of big player that's left hurdle to overcome with Danny leaving this summer. So I'm guessing you can sort of sympathise with how difficult it is to try and find a new way of playing when such a key man leaves.
Yeah, when I listen to the voices in the summer, what happens when Danny is leaving, I mean, I think we have proven now that we can still win games and we can still move forward as a club. You should never be, addicted to one player. I think when your game is hang on one player, I think then you have a problem definitely in this game. And this is what should never be. But finally, sure, Jack Grealish is a fantastic player, and he was in the Villa game a very, very important feature because scored a lot of goals, had a massive part of assists also in his game, and this is not so easy. Such a player to replace him and to find another solution. So it takes time. Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes not so long. This is we are not the only club that loses games, loses players, or players are leaving. So everybody has the same situation, and there are always bigger clubs. They are looking for your players, and you have to get used to it. And it's hard for the fans. It's also sometimes hard for the manager to lose an important player, but in the end, it can be also a chance for something new building up. And this is how I see it all the time. And so the pain goes away relatively quickly when I speak about me. I don't know how it is with the team, but I think it shouldn't affect his squad too much in the future, I think.
Just as a quick follow-up to not being addicted to one player, do you feel like the team is a stronger team overall now compared to maybe being a little bit reliant on one player last season?
I am a big fan of having not only one goal scorer in the team, having maybe 5 or 6. This is even harder than to play against this team when you have more players that can score goals. We haven't had that many goals this season, so we are still not on the level from the average of scoring goals. The average of conceding is quite on a top 10 level, I must say. The scoring goals not so far, but I think the chances we create or the expected goals is rising, and this is giving me the hope that we can also turn these stats around, and then we should take more wins in the future.
Thanks, Ralph. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Okay, Tom Leach.
Thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon, Ralph. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
Brilliant. Can I just pick on something you said to Alfie about Nathan Tella? You said that he came to you and asked if he could play for the 23s on Monday. Firstly, that's obviously brilliant to hear, but how do you see the next few weeks and months playing out for him? Because I suppose if he's not in the Premier League teams as much, he kind of had the EFL Cup games to play in over the last few weeks, but the next Cup game now isn't until January. So how do you see the next few weeks playing out for him?
See him definitely getting more chances to play. He is, especially in the very front position, the best option, I think, for him. And there I have to find situations where I can give him a chance to play. And I'm sure he will get it in the future, definitely. We have a lot of duels there up front. We have 5 strikers, so it's not so easy to get a chance to play there. But I think he definitely has the quality to do this. And I'm hoping that I can give him more chances in the next weeks.
It must be really refreshing as well to see a player so young like him come to you and say, "Look, I know I'm not playing at the minute, but I want to play, even if it's at 23s level."
Yeah, I mean, players. I'm not a manager who forced them to play there, but a manager who really likes to see when they're coming to you and ask you to play. Because when I was coming here, they spoke about, or they told me about Ori when he was not part of the first squad, and he always immediately wanted to play the under 23 because he needs games and he knows how important it is, especially the 90 minutes are very important to get the rhythm, to get the minutes in your legs, and this is what he understands also immediately. And I think a positive performance like he did, he's convinced about his quality, and when he plays there, he always knows that he scores goals, and he's immediately in the game there and helps them massively. And this shows his quality and also his mentality, and this is always a a good message for me, for the team, for the club, for everybody.
Brilliant. If I can just sneak one quick one in. I think it's been 7 or 8 weeks now since Jack Stevens picked up his injury. How's he getting on with his progress, and how far away do you think he is from getting back on the grass?
Well, time is going past quick, I must say. I was surprised now that it's so long ago that but yes, he's good. He's good in a good way. I think has had a few individual sessions on the grass so far, I think. So yeah, looks good. And we have then the international break, and then we have a look. Maybe he's back after the international break. We'll have a look.